All right. I don't think anybody watching this could hear the recording in progress being said, but it was said. So the
I did
recording
hear
is
it.
in progress. These are the Brendy Awards. Welcome, everyone. I am Brendy. I am Brendan. I actually
Hello,
don't
Brendan.
let, I really um, have avoided the nickname Brendy for a long time. It's not bad, but like people also call me Brendo, and Brendo makes me seem big and tough.
Or like a friend.
Or like a friend,
Brendan, a
and
friend.
Brandy, it's just like Brandy's like a little girlier. But in the instance
A little
of
sap.
this, the Brandy Awards, I think it rolls off the tongue better than the Brendo Awards. I think it's just the best version of this. So, hello everyone, welcome to the first installment of the Dismal Tide presents the Brandy Awards. I'm taking you on a guided tour of the year 2006 in film, a great year for movies, and frankly, a pretty bad year for the Academy Awards. Um, the Brandy Awards were started one night in my basement in my New York City apartment with my roommates. I was probably a little bit drunk and a little bit stoned, probably a little bit of everything. Who knows? Don't remember. It was years ago. And I put words to my shtick about the Oscars. None of this is like crazy, unsaid before, but I think the worst thing about the Oscars is they happen too soon. I don't think that you should give awards to movies that came out that year, or at least not serious awards. I think you should let them breathe 2, 3, 4, in my opinion, 5 years before you start giving out awards. So like the Oscars this year should be for the I think that makes it 2019 films. Um, yeah. Number two, they don't take cultural relevance of movies into consideration nearly enough. Uh, so like an example that would be like the Barbie movie this year, just nominated for the fucking Oscar. Like, are you kidding me? It would such a big movie, and that doesn't go for like I don't think like Up and shit should be getting now. Up's a good, that's a bad example. So I don't think like what was the animated movie that came out this year Z that everybody loved?
The wild robot.
Despicable Me. I'm sorry. Yeah, something like Despicable Me, where it's like everybody sees these movies. They make $2 billion. Do I think that that should get nominated because everybody saw it? No, but like cultural relevance of movies should very much. I think what I'm trying to say here is children don't count as part of cultural relevance. Fuck off. Terrible taste, children. My third problem with the Oscars is they dismiss genre movies entirely, like comedies. It's hard to make a comedy movie where you start at the beginning of the movie and saying, this is going to be funny and actually make it funny. That is very difficult.
What's the last
Uh,
comedy you saw? Liked?
I don't watch modern comedies like at all anymore. Like, something with Glenn Powell, I think, was supposed to be a comedy that I saw. What was the
Hitman?
same? I did see Hitman. No, I saw the movie also with him and Sydney Sweeney though.
Good Lord.
The the rom com. I watch a lot of movies too, but I think I watch
I
way more
know.
junk than you.
Yeah, maybe. Bottoms, which came out 2 years ago.
Bottoms was funny. I
Fucking
saw Bottoms.
hysterical. Fucking
But like
hysterical.
I'll watch like drama movies or like action movies or something that just like excites me generally. Without needing like a review, without needing like a with comedies now, I need a very like this was funny, you should watch it. Like I'm not taking
Yeah.
risks on comedy movies because they're dog shit when they're bad. So like it's hard to make a good comedy. So and horror movies sit with you to me in a way that no other kind of movie does. That doesn't get recognized at all. I'm not saying that like Michael Myers should have gotten an Oscar, but like there should be a way to like at least nominate these scary movies for Best Picture. Like you think back to a movie like what's the one Hereditary. I don't, as I recall, nominated for nothing, and it's one of the most chilling movies I've ever seen. And it's still I think
Nominated
about
for
it all the
nothing.
time. As
And
I
Tony
understand it, I
Collette.
think Toni Collette. Like, are you
Rob.
kidding me? How is she not best supporting actress? Whatever, best act, like crazy, and like nominated for best picture. That was the fucking hell of a script in there. Ignored because it's
Yeah.
horror. Dog shit to
See,
me.
this is where
That's
it
so
gets kind
dumb.
of interesting because you have horror, but then like tonight is the Golden Globes, which is, its own fucking thing. It's a Hollywood Foreign Press. It's like 80 something people voting. But the one thing that's different about the Golden Globes is they have Best Picture musical or comedy and Best Picture drama, and they differentiate.
Yeah,
And
they
some
do
people hate it.
that
Some people
well
love
with the Golden Globes, but they also divide. Isn't that the award show where they divide the television shows terribly?
it. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't even care that much about these TV shows. Mostly, it's not like I'm some like award show hawk where I'm just like, but like, I'm mostly doing the Brendies for a laugh. Yeah, this is definitely very tongue in cheek. I've come out here with a lot of big complaints, but like the real tenor of this is the fourth point here, and I'm really gonna rub this one home as these episodes go by. If I didn't see it, it's their fault, not mine. Z was saying earlier, I was hoping there. Actually, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, it's their fault, not mine. They've had at least five. I don't see myself doing 2019 anytime soon, but they've had at least 5 years to appeal to me. I watch a ton of movies. Their failure to put it, I guess, put it in my face or like have it, I don't know, get the right review in my face. Mostly, if it's been a few years, I need somebody to tell me I should see it, and then I'll probably see it. But like if so, like well, I'm talking about like 1993, which we're not doing today. Today we're doing 2006, as you can see from the shared image. Uh, I did 1993 was the first year I did. And somebody told me about The Wind That Shakes the Barley, and I heard it's a good movie. Since I've heard it's a good movie from like one or two people, but for the most part, I've gone my entire life. I was born in 1988, and I'd never even heard of it. It's not that I didn't see it or I didn't want to see it. Never even heard of it. So like, there's got I just for the sake of my sanity while making an award show based on movie years, I have to what I didn't see, I have to be able to ignore. It's gotta like I gotta draw the line somewhere. More simply put, our friend actually, Bilal, said a couple days ago, he said, he asked me to like break down what we were doing here, and he's a very like data guy. So he's like, so what's the goal? And I just like kind of doesn't get it. He's like,
There's no
there's no
goal.
goal. I mean, he does get it. I'm not, but like, it was just like the first set of questions were like clearly designed for somebody who had a goal for this in mind. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. So after I distilled that to him and he understood what I was trying to get here, he said, okay, so you don't think Training Day won enough awards and you're going to do a podcast about it? I'm like, yeah, I
That's a
guess.
great answer.
Yes. That's pretty funny. Yes.
Although I think it won too many awards. I don't know. Anyway,
It's a different year, Z. We'll do it a different
different year. We'll
time.
talk about it another time. This time.
Over the coming weeks, I will relitigate the Oscar awards from random years in the past. I'm not going in any particular order. I am starting with 2006 because it's the year I graduated high school and started college, and it immediately kind of puts an age on me, which I think is helpful for the future. On this show, I will read out the actual Oscar nominees and the winner, and the Brandy nominees, and then the winner of the fan choice vote, and then I will give my winner. Right, so we're going to hear a lot of winners before you get to my winner. I will discuss or be berated by my esteemed panel. Today, the panel is pretty small, which is good. Before each episode, I release a poll on some dumb clickbaity poll site. If you follow me on something or other, I don't know, I'll list it somewhere. Mostly, you got to get into the Dismal Tide Discord. Uh, that's where I'm going to do most of the polling. You're not getting into my friend chat on Instagram. There were, I think, 20 votes in this first episode's poll, and most of the people voted like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I almost did this episode on like December like 15th, but then my computer fucking tragically died, and I went on vacation, and it was Christmas, and okay, so here we are. Um, I just want to be clear though, the Brendy vote is me. I don't take any fan vote into account. I don't take any input into account. Whoever wins the Brendys, that is 100% right here. Nobody's given helping me with that at all. Joining me through this journey, I've assorted a sample of my friends with various levels of qualification when it comes to film dissection. I did this first episode at a really weird time on a Sunday afternoon because I wanted to keep it small. So we only have one guest with us today. That's my pal Z. Hello, Z.
What up? Hello.
We don't, Z works and just to keep it vague. Actually, you can talk about yourself. Go ahead. You don't have to
Yeah.
go too long.
No, I'm an assistant director. I'm part of the Directors Guild of America. Essentially, I help run a film set. That's what I do. TV, film, whatever it is. Most recently
Yep.
worked on Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, lovely. We're also just most of our guests are going to be just people trying to laugh at me, or not people with actual industry qualifications. These exceptional credentials make this. It gives it a level of credibility that first I don't deserve, and second is not going to continue as these get deeper in. It's just not gonna. Um, so me and Z, we're gonna go start going through the year 2006. Yeah, all right. I'm ready to start
Let's do
this.
it.
Thank you, Z's girlfriend Ria. the wonderful Rhea, who exists independent of being your girlfriend. So Z's art curator or whatever girlfriend Rhea made me this lovely logo in about 4 minutes. Looks great. Thank you, Rhea. And this is just going to be a scroll down. All right, I'm going to add some pictures here to help you remember some of these films that we're going to be talking about all the time. We got the first upper left. We got a little bit of Pan's Labyrinth. We got The Departed this year. We got Smoking Aces. There's Little Children of Men, some Borat. There was a Mission Impossible movie this year. Keep on. So some of these, yeah, whatever. We're just going to get to it. The first Brendy Award. At the back end, we're going to get to the big five Oscars that I'm going to relitigate, but we're starting with my personal awards here. All right. And
Okay.
the first category I came up with is one we're going to have every week. Most feels like the year it came out, and that's whatever criteria you want that to be, whatever you want. So the most 2006, the ones I came up with to me that felt the most like this year were Crank and She's the Man and Talladega Nights. And then I just included a million on here. Smoking Aces feels like 2006 to me. The last time you saw Smoking Aces,
Dude, probably like a year after it came out.
it
There's
was
so
like
many people in that movie. It's insane.
stacked with stars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to
And
give
not very
everybody a
good.
sense of the fringy films that are in this year. All right, as we progress down to the fan vote for the most 2006 film, in which The Departed won. Everybody voted for The Departed. Um, this is a ranked choice vote. Fifth place gets 5 points. I'm sorry, first place gets 5 points. Fifth place gets one. That's the fan vote for all of these things. It's the 20 people I talked about before. So the most 2006 people to the film to the people is The Departed. I disagree. It is Smoking Aces. The Brendy
Smoking
Award
Aces.
goes to Smoking Aces. A really bad photo I chose for this graphic, but it was like I
Is that Alicia Keys?
rewatched. Yes, Alicia Keys is
Yeah.
in
Okay.
that. Chris Pine
That's
is
her
in it.
crotch.
Ben
That's
Affleck's in it. There's a lot of like pretty good
a lot of
actors in
people.
it. Slightly like Ryan Reynolds. It's a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Oh yeah.
He's the second lead
Yeah, but he's just
or the
playing himself,
first
so it's
lead.
always hard to remember.
It's
It's
yeah,
hard to
it's
remember
just
when
him.
he's.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it was him when he was still a bit more typecast. He's kind of let that go a little bit. People let him direct a little bit more now, but it's still he's doing just hidden. I would love to
He's just doing
see
his thing.
Yeah, I would love to see like his take it on like a grittier crime drama, but why would he? He probably makes $50 million a movie. Why would I ever take a risk?
That dude has definitely done a few great things, but I don't remember them really. Oh, he
No,
did
I
that one where
can't
he gets
remember.
buried alive. He's one where he's buried alive with like a cell phone or something.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So that's the first Brandy Award. Smoking Aces. We're gonna keep it moving. Whenever you want to interrupt, you go ahead. But there's 13 categories. We do have to keep it moving.
that's fair.
All right. So this is 2006 specifically. Um, I have the winner up there, and I didn't mean to. This is 2006 specifically. The next award is going to the best dumb guy film. 2006 was really like the beginning, or like it's really like cresting the dumb guy culture, which is like recresting again right now.
What does that say about us when we graduate high school this year?
We had it, we had it rough. 2006 was weird. The housing crisis was full blind mode. So everybody lived in a
Yeah.
nice house. Everybody in 2006, at least around us, found some access to live in like a pretty decent house, which say what you will about the housing crisis. I've said plenty. Uh, but are there worse ways to fuck up than to make sure somebody and like some of the poorer families that we went to school with lived in these enormous like 5 bedroom houses and just like I
Hmm.
guess it was like just the assumption would be like the ninja loan of it all. Um, but like good for them. Way to get a
Yeah,
home because
I
the
know.
alternative is shitty.
It
So
is.
that said, the best dumb guy film nominees in no particular order, and everybody knows who won now because I didn't get rid of the winner thing on there either time. But 300 kind of changed movies for a couple of years, and
Yeah,
it kind of redefined the action sequence for too long. The
for far too long.
the stop motion slow mo of it all really sucks. It's right, it's correct like every once in a while just doing it real fast for 5 seconds, but like that what is that, Justice League or Batman versus Superman, and obviously it's still Zack Snyder,
Yeah,
but I remember watching that movie, I think the Snyder cut, and going like, if this were all just in
yeah.
regular motion, this movie would be 90 minutes. The whole
So much
movie's done in
faster.
slow motion. All
So
right,
much
next dumb
faster.
guy movie would be X-Men 3, Grandma's Boy, Crank. Crank is actually pretty good.
Crank is a good movie. All right. X3, Grandma's Boy.
All of these like action movies that started around this period in the 2002 to like 2009, if there were three or
Jason
four of them,
Statham.
honestly, yeah, honestly, that's kind of true for all these action movies. If they made three or four, skip them, watch the first one. The first one's probably awesome.
Yeah, you don't need to see Taken 4. You just need to see
Don't
Taken.
need to see
Yeah.
John Wick 4 either. Just like watch
Although,
the first one. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure, whatever. Scary Movie, Little Man, Smoking Aces is a great dumb guy movie. The Underworld
wait,
films,
Tokyo Drift, man.
Tokyo Drift is down there.
Tokyo
The
Drift
worst
is
of a Go ahead.
incredible. Fucking love that movie, all right? I love
It's
Tokyo Drift because it's a one-off. It's the only independent Fast and Furious film.
no Vin Diesel,
It,
no Paul Walker, no
you
Rock.
get Vin Diesel in a cameo at the end, and you get a new character, Han, who gets brought into the world. And Han is brought into all the other movies. Otherwise, that's it.
It
It's just
just
standalone
doesn't.
with
Yeah,
Bow Wow, and that's it. It's
it's
just its own little thing. And like it's aged better than I thought it
what were they like thinking? Well, no, because okay, never mind. I confused it for a moment. Yeah, Tokyo Drift is the strange one. I was confusing it. I was melding it together with Too Fast, Too Furious a little bit in my head.
would. Too Fast and
But
Furious
no,
is so bad. Yeah, yeah,
it's
no,
Too Fast,
that's
Too
the
Furious is
Miami one.
horrible. Tokyo Drift
Yeah,
is at
that's
least a movie.
Tokyo Drift is
Too
actually
Fast, Too Furious is horrific.
look, it's kind of entertaining. It's its one-off thing. It's about a like the main character, kind of dumb. Yeah, but he's a southern guy who moves to Tokyo. What? And so he's trying to assimilate into Japanese culture. Like that's a huge part of the movie that I feel like people overlook. Because then the person helping him assimilate is Bow Wow because he's been there longer at this Japanese school. And so like there's this other layer to it all. It's like, what the hell? This is Fast and
Well,
Furious,
what
but
did you
also
vote for best dumb guy film? Do you remember?
I'm pretty sure I picked 300. But Tokyo Drift was a very close second, I think, for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Man of the Year, the Robin Williams becomes president by accident movie. Rough. That was of a time. That was of a time. Employee of the month,
Speaking of a
Dane
time,
Cook. Yeah, Dane Cook was popping in 2005 and 2006.
huge. He was
Huge.
huge.
All right.
That
So the
movie
fan vote,
destroyed.
the best dumb guy film of 2006, which I don't agree with these results at all. Borat. I guess they're looking at, I think the way I phrased it was these are the dumb guy films. Which one are you most likely to rewatch?
I think, yeah, I think so.
So
Which, of course,
Borat
it's Borat.
definitely the winner there. I think that might be an unfortunate phrasing that I will do away with. But the best dumb guy film, according to the fans, is Borat. And
It's Borat.
my favorite dumb guy film, 300. I'll watch it again. Who fuck cares? I also think I had this aimed a little bit more at the I hate this. It's the best dumb guy film.
Yeah. What's funny is I told you earlier how many movies I watched this past year. 300 was one of them because I haven't seen it in many, many years. Not as good as
Uh
I remember. Definitely not.
Definitely not as good. Like I remember in 2006, I was like, this fucking rules. Like I loved
Hell
it.
yeah.
And yeah, there's another award I think that it's getting later for that sort of thing. So we're gonna keep this
Keep rolling.
rolling. All
Keep
right.
on rolling.
I think my favorite award that it still is not clear to me what I even mean, but like all these Brendy Awards when it comes to like the fan vote and it's just how I feel. And this is the Michael Bay Award. This is the award for the movie that in my head, if you discovered today that I don't know, Michael Bay was in some shit or something, and he was not allowed to direct movies for a while. So he had to secret, or he was like Brandon Sanderson. He's like secretly writing books in the background, not telling anyone, and then just like actually, he wrote it under a pen name. But this film was actually directed by Michael Bay secretly. Which movie that comes out this year would you be least surprised to hear was directed by Michael Bay?
Out of the
And my
choices. Oof.
Go ahead. You can
Oof.
read the choices if you like.
All right. Choices are Smoking Aces again, Crank, Tokyo Drift, Snakes on a Plane.
If I had another crack at this list, I'd probably redo it, but whatever. Because I kind of like looked a little more at what Michael Bay actually directs, and a lot of them are more thrillery and less like weird robot-y, but
Yeah.
whatever. Definitely very little like in Smoking Aces, like hard-hitting drug content. None of that.
Speaking of, because I have one that's not on this list that I thought of. Miami Vice.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be probably the winner if I could redo
the
this
remake.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a movie that I had to like because this was the first year we're doing publicly. Like, I think if I were redoing, if this were like a year I would redo, we're redoing this like the fifth or sixth year I've done, I would probably go watch Miami Vice. But just to make an example out of Miami Vice, I did not actually see it, and I've heard from a lot of people who like movies, his opinion I trust that it is actually like pretty good. It's a
It's
Michael
all right.
Mann
It's not
movie,
bad.
like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had to draw the line somewhere and stick up for something. So no, I didn't. I didn't see Miami Vice. I've seen scenes. All right, so the best dumb guy, the best Michael Bay film, most likely directed by Michael Bay film, Brendy, fan vote, man, verbose, man, is Crank. Crank by 5 points. Crank receiving six first place votes, six. Crank receiving the most second place votes, and the most third place. It was Crank by a lot.
Wow.
And the Brandy Award also goes to Smoking Aces. But it's an award in hindsight I would redo, given I was just having a laugh when I made this category. I would probably give it to Cranker, what you said, Miami Vice.
Miami Vice.
Can I show the outline here? Where are we at? All right. The next award is the Future Robots Award. This award was based on a quote from somebody who will be on the show at some point, Mike Johnson, my Dismal Tide co-host back in the day. Um, and it was right around it was around that time. It wasn't around that time. It was when
It was the
that
time.
very famous Christian Bale screaming, "Oh, good for you!" Good at one of the stage hands um, went super viral. Everybody was saying, "Oh, good for you!" Back when Johnson said this, and Johnson said something to the effect of, "Listen, like it's an asshole. He sounds like an asshole here, yes, but there's only one person in this room right now who is being paid to fight robots in the future, and it's the guy doing the shouting. So like I do get it.
Yeah. You know
And
what's
I
funny?
that
When it first happened, the whole incident, yeah, I was on the side of like Christian Bale's an asshole, whatever. Having heard more stories about him, having worked in the business long enough, and having known what that guy was doing, he was an electrician and was just like in his eye line repeatedly, like making jokes and stuff and like moving things around. Christian Bale was 100% right. 100% right.
I'd say my analysis of that has gone the exact just as linear as yours. Like as time has gone
Yeah.
on, it is clear. Now the person who I think doing that wasn't right was that one with Chris Berman from ESPN. And that
Oh,
was a
yeah.
really funny one. It's just like
Like
fucking
there's
up
quite a few
professional. I
bad
can't fucking
ones.
believe it.
There's quite a few bad ones. I mean, but Christian Bale gets a bad rap.
I think, yeah, I also think that just through his movie selections and his body of work, everybody's moved on.
That's the thing. I mean, like he does such incredible work. And then he talks more now, like publicly than he used to. And my favorite fact about Christian Bale is that number one, he did that terrible, terrible role in Thor, uh, the Love and Thunder movie, because
Yeah,
his kids wanted him to. That was it.
sure.
It's the only reason why.
I
But my
was
favorite fact
when
is,
they cast him, Marvel cast him. I was like, well, why aren't they casting him for an actual thing? And that makes way more sense if it's just like
yeah,
my kids want me to be in a Marvel movie, and I'm not trying to do this for the next 20
hmm
years.
yeah. See that, and the fact that that man drives his 1996 Toyota Tacoma pickup still to this day that he bought. That's his
I've
car.
always found that sort of rich guy driving the old car thing. I've always been split on it because Warren Buffett does the same thing, and
Warren
people
Buffett does
use
the
it
same thing.
as
Yeah.
like reason to go like, oh, fucking Warren Buffett, what a down to earth guy. It's like, ah, he's oh, just get a nicer car. Like,
See, what I like about Christian Bale is he bought this in 1996 when he was still, up and coming. He was in some major movies already, but like, it wasn't huge. He was a child actor. He started to get some money. He bought his Tacoma and he does interviews now. And someone recently, and someone's like, we heard that you actually drive this car. He goes, yeah, you had a fucking problem with it?
mhm.
And he uses his Tacoma. He goes, I use it all the time to haul things. I do this, I do that. Like he's in love with his truck. And I was like, you know what? Respect. Christian Bale.
Yeah, respect. That's fine. I mean, you know what? And it's also like Warren Buffett, Christian Bale. I'm sure there's a million people who do this, and they
Yeah,
say that like still drives blah blah blah. But like the unsaid thing is like that's not the only fucking car he owns. Like, come on,
exactly.
he's got a
Exactly.
sports car. He still has the truck, but like he's come on, stop it. All right, so the
Yeah.
Future Robots Award is given to the actor put in like to me, it's like the most weirdly surreal situation like that. Like fighting robots in the future in a room that's just all green by yourself, acting to like a fucking tennis ball. And then somebody just being annoying by the camera. Which of these actors do you think had or is most likely to have one of these situations in one of these movies that was filmed this year? I only put up two nominees in this one, and I kind of left it more up to the fan vote. All right. We had Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 3. Imagine somebody just like slowing you down when you're about to run up the side of a building or something.
Yeah.
Like I got shit to do. You need to get it together. All right. This is not about
And
you.
Tom
This is
Cruise is
mission.
somebody who will tell people that. He'll tell his whole crew, like, we're on the same team, get it together, we're rolling, we're doing whatever. That's his style. And he had his freak out, about a crew member who was unmasked during COVID. And it was great. I appreciated everything he said. He's like, we're all as a team. You doing this slows us down. So I do think Tom Cruise is probably the best choice for this
Uh,
type of.
and then I put Sam Jackson in this as well for just just like, yeah, I'm the man in the room with all the snakes. Please pull it together. I got snakes all over me. All right. The fan vote. Tom Cruise won pretty handily. Most first place votes, most second place votes. Sam Jackson second. Bill Nye in Underworld is a good nominee. It's just like
It's
just him
really,
sitting there dressed like some stupid like half vampire thing, going like, all right, like can we get him moving?
but he's that
Johnny
kind of
Depp
guy.
in Pirates, sure.
Ryan Gosling.
I don't understand the Ryan Gosling. I don't know who
Have you
put
actually
that in
seen
there.
Ab Nelson?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got to be very pretending to be very fucked up the whole time.
Yeah. It's funny. You're talking about Sam Jackson and like, his ability to be this type of person. Oh my God, the dog.
This is Barb. This
The
is the
dog.
actual co-host.
The
This is
dog.
Barb. Say hi to
So
Barb.
Barb, as I was saying, Barb, there's this famous story about Sam Jackson on what's it called? Uh Django Unchained. And it's with DiCaprio. And DiCaprio,
Yeah,
his
is this the
hesitations to
N
the
word
N-word,
thing?
hesitation to the
Yeah,
N-word. And Sam Jackson just famously yelled at him and he just called him the N-word. He's like, just say it. And like yelled at him and he did it. And he's like, he had to control it.
I
He had to
think
redirect his
I
like,
think the actual line that I've seen about that is what he yelled at him was just
yeah,
like, N word, shut the fuck
word.
up. This is a fucking Tuesday. Like, let's get it
Yes,
moving.
let's go. And I'm just like, wow, it's amazing.
It's like, we all agreed to this movie. I understand you're uncomfortable. I got shit to do.
Go. Yeah.
So my Future Robots Award, the Brendy goes to, I gave it to Tom Cruise. I'm just imagining him dangling off something and somebody like drops their fucking big gulp and we got to take 20 minutes and clean this up.
Like this guy's so insane that in the filming of Mission Impossible 3, this is true. There's a scene towards the end of the film where he's like taped up and he's like, talking to his wife who's kidnapped on the phone. And he was so dedicated to making it look real. He wanted to bite, really hard on someone's hand who's holding the phone up to his ear. So he made it so it's his own hand holding the fucking phone, and it makes it look like it's Billy Crudup's. And he bites his own hand hard as fuck. It's insane. But like that's Tom Cruise.
Right, man. That's movie magic. We love movie
The magic.
magic. We're moving on to a category I'm happy to give out every episode, the best villain of the year. I don't think this should be an Oscar. That's definitely not what I'm saying, but it's going to be a good villain. And there's always, would you believe there's a lot of bad guys in movies?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oof.
Yeah, I have all these listed out. A couple of them didn't make the these first few years, the like the volume of finalists is just because I was still trying to figure out what I was doing with all of this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be quite so cluttered in the future. Um, but like Jack Nicholson, tremendous. Mads Mikkelsen in Casino
Ooh,
Royale was
the blood
maybe the
tier.
best. Yeah, the blood tier. He fucking pulverized his nutsack.
God.
Um, really a high level torture there. The rope to the chair that's cut out and hitting him in the balls over and
Hmm.
over. My God. Uh, Hans Labyrinth, that guy is so fucking crazy good. He's just like, I rewatched it again,
So
and
good. It
he's
destroys you.
just so evil. Everybody he comes up to, you can just see how well acted it is in his eyes. He's just like sizing everybody up, going like, "Do I have to kill this motherfucker right now?" Barb.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Barb
put
thinks so.
The Germans from Beer Fest in there tangentially. That's pretty funny. Philip Seymour Hoffman in Mission Impossible 3. If he were in more of the movie, I think he could have definitely won this, which he didn't. But like he was Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He was just incredible in that movie. I mean, eh, Mission Impossible 3 is also the one that brought back Mission Impossible because it was like
Yeah,
2 came out,
two wasn't good. Yeah,
trash, trash. Great soundtrack, new metal, otherwise trash. 3 though is J.J. Abrams, and J.J. Abrams, he brought in Philip Seymour Hoffman, but he made him this character that's so fucking evil, says so few words. He's just money oriented. He's very deadpan the whole time,
he says so few
and
words in a very like face-off way.
yes, and he's very like, we're gonna do this and blah blah blah, and that's it. But it's very matter of fact. And then the idea that they finally introduce a character that like, oh, Tom Cruise has been training this character, it's Carrie Russell, and she's doing whatever, and boom, she's dead because Philip Seymour Hoffman's just like, nope, that's it. That is intense, and he kidnaps his fucking wife, and like,
The
what other?
actions of the bad guy even don't even matter that much. It's just like the deadpan of it all, the clear
That's
psycho
the thing.
eyes.
The delivery of it. It's oh my god. At one point, he's hanging. He gets hung from the bottom of the plane. They're trying to get information out of him, and somebody yells Ethan, and he pulls him back up. He's still tied to the chair. He goes, "So your name's Ethan?" And like, holy shit! Like, what? That's what you just learned his name, and you just threw it back in his face after being hung upside down from a fucking airplane. Like,
Great
that's
stuff.
badass.
Yeah, really awesome.
Badass.
I threw in the host, the monster from the host. The Hills Have Eyes freaks were really good. Matt Damon was really good in The Departed. I put Ian McKellen on this list because he was a bad guy in 2 movies. He was Magneto, obviously. Do say what you want about X3. He's still Magneto. He's pretty good at it. Uh, the Da Vinci Code, he was the bad guy in that too. That was one of my original nominees for like most 2006, most like aged poorly film. That was definitely one of my top three because like back then the Da Vinci Code was fucking huge.
It was everything.
It was all over the
It was
place from
everything.
like 2003 or four when it came out till this movie came out. And then this movie came out and everybody finally like saw what the Da Vinci Code was. And I think as a society, we all just went like, would you guys shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
It's
So like
enough.
it's an interesting story, but I've had enough.
And I thought my opinion on those like color by numbers, like Dan Brown books is like whichever one of his like books you read first is probably the one you're going to like the best because the twists will
Mhm.
land the hardest. Um,
That's fair.
I read
That's fair.
Angels and Demons first, so I thought that was the better one.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it probably is the better
I
one
agree.
anyway.
I think so.
We're gonna go down to the fan vote here for best villain though. To which Jack Nicholson won. I got no problem with that. Most first place votes, most second place votes, like most, yeah, whatever. 60 to 47. I agree with the top three. I don't agree with the order.
Hmm.
Who did you vote for that?
Me?
I think you
I
voted for
was the
Seymour
curveball.
Hoffman.
I did. I did. I was a curveball
Yeah,
because you
you're
know
one
how
of
I
the
feel.
two.
I don't want to do this and open the can of worms, but you know how I feel about The Departed. We've talked about
Yeah,
this at length.
he doesn't like The Departed. There's
It's
like
not that I don't
problems with
like
it.
The Departed. It's not that I don't like The Departed.
This
I
is
just
your
think it's
forum.
one of the most overrated movies to ever be nominated and win this many Oscars. And as far as Scorsese's catalog goes, it's towards the middle at best.
Yeah, there's better
I don't know.
movies.
Much better
Uh,
movie.
yeah, I definitely like The Departed more than you, but I don't like it as much as I did.
Yeah. I mean, look, we
I don't
both
know.
seen it
There was
like
also a
countless
time when we
times.
were living together where we
Yeah, we'd
probably
watch
watched
it.
The Departed, I don't know, once every week for like two
There was a
months.
look. There was one time we're right back to how we were 5, 6 years ago. We were definitely intoxicated, watching The Departed in the basement, and I remember freaking out. And I jumped up and I paused the TV. I don't know if
I
you remember
remember this
this.
story.
And I was just like, "Oh my fucking god!" And you and Johnson were just, "What's going on?" Like you can see the dolly track in the shot. You're like, "What?" I'm like, the thing that the dolly goes on and the camera, you can literally see him step over it. Jack Nicholson's character steps over it, and continues in a shot, and it's just like I couldn't even watch the movie anymore because I was just looking for other spots they messed up. I'm like, what? How does that happen? It was such an
I
egregious looking thing. I'm like,
it's
ah,
the baby doll in the sniper movie, American
nothing's
Sniper.
worse.
The just the literal baby doll in a crib. Just grabbing
I
it by the leg and
recently
hanging it upside down like a prize fish.
on Happy Gilmore 2, the first AD I was working with did most of Clint Eastwood's movies, including American Sniper. And we had several real babies that they brought in. his second AD was just like, "Oh, you didn't bring any pram, any fake babies," and he goes, "Shut the fuck up. I don't ever want to talk about that," because that was his job. And he
Good.
was like, "We need to shoot again." And Clint Eastwood's like, "No, it's fine." He goes, "What the? Why? It's a
I'm
fucking
gonna
baby
be.
doll."
He's gonna ruin my career.
And I find it very funny because I just watched Juror number two, and there's a
Okay.
real live baby in there. It's a live baby. I was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing."
Just like some weird, just one of Clint Eastwood's like lifelong friends. Just like they're sitting, he's just like a friend in the industry, somebody he listens to, and they're sitting there and looks at Clint and just goes like, Clint, I don't have to say it, do I? Like that can't happen again. We both know it. It can't happen again.
God.
All right.
Yeah.
My best villain, the Brendy goes to
Which
Sergey Lo, whatever.
I
I
think
don't
is a
know
great
why
villain.
I started a thing where I would have to read a lot of people's names when I'm so terrible at reading names. But yeah, this guy just in every scene, he's terrifying. You don't know what he's going to do the entire movie. It's so scary.
Yeah. Look, I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. I said he's number one, but like this was a very close number two for me. Very close
I,
number two.
I think my two was the Bond villain, and then three would be probably Jack Nicholson.
See, it's so hard. Yeah, you have Mads Mikkelsen, Le Chiffre.
Yeah, and probably what is I don't know. I think it's probably the best James Bond movie. Full stop.
Yeah,
You
top
know.
three for sure. For sure.
All right. Okay, here we are. Yeah, best cool at the time movie. And I didn't get rid of the winner again. But yeah, it's the movie that was cool back then that in hindsight you would not be excited to tell people like an 18-year-old now who's seen all these movies, which one would you want to tell them was your favorite at the time, the least, you know? And our nominees are The Departed. Everyone quoted The Departed for years and years and years.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
still
it
do.
was very cool at the time. Casino Royale made Bond cool again. It was gritty, which was a style that was not yet worn out. It was like really down to earth and brutal. And like this came out after Born Identity, right? But like Born Identity
Yeah,
changed
yeah.
a lot. The way Born Identity was filmed with, or like the action sequences, that changed a lot of uh,
And
action
that's
movies
something.
back
Look,
then too.
I rewatched the Bourne Identities, the movies, and it changed the way action shot. It's funny, you watch it now and it feels dated because the way they do it is just like these handheld, really
Yeah,
intense cameras that just cut, 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 and you're just like, this is a lot. This is kind of unnecessary. But it was such a it like made the film language for action movies for like 10 years just that. And it was crazy.
the quick cut like hand fighting stuff too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
still around, and I like obviously they didn't invent it when they used it for. I'm sure they stole it from much
Yeah.
better, much older films, but like
Yeah.
it changed mainstream action sequences a lot,
Yeah.
and in a way that is shown in Casino Royale.
Yeah.
The Devil Wears Prada was like out of nowhere back in 2006, absolute heat for no reason. No, like nobody was expecting this dumb movie to be so good, and it just kept. I think since
And
2006, every year it grows a little bit.
it's so fucking good. And on so many
Yeah.
different levels. And the performances from everybody, it gets better, I think, every year. I agree.
300 we've talked about enough. Snakes on a Plane was a huge cult movie in 2006. Like we went to the theaters live. We were
The
dressed as
Midnight
snakes and
Show, yeah.
planes when we were 18. Like it was big in my demographic back then. It was
Yeah.
definitely cool at the time. These motherfucking snakes, you know, it was
The
all
motherfucker.
pretty cool.
It was funny because
Failure
I
to
remember
Launch is
seeing
perhaps the is Failure to Launch is one of the like one of the rom-coms you bring up you say first when you're bringing up rom-coms. I don't think it's the best rom-com by any stretch. Um,
wait, this is one of
and
the first ones you failure to launch?
I think oh yeah, just because it has like all the pieces. It's like super dumb. It's got
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Sarah Jessica Parker needs to be somebody else for it to be like the perfect rom-com, you know? And it's also just like a little bit too dumb. It's not my favorite by any stretch, but I think it's one of the it's like the
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey tier of rom-coms.
The
So
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Matthew McConaughey
I think
rom-com
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Good Days is the rom-com.
is the one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Da
For
Vinci
sure.
Code, we already talked about. Borat was huge. Borat was so cool, and it was so out of
And it's
nowhere. It
still
was so
cool.
fucking funny. Yeah, it's
I
still cool.
mean,
People still say my wife for a laugh.
my life, yeah, it's still a thing. Like it's love it. Love it.
We're gonna check out the fan vote here. What did you
Yeah.
vote for? Best cool at the
Out
time
of
movie.
this, what do you think?
I think you voted for. Borat.
No,
What'd you go for?
300
Okay, okay.
because it's no longer
Uh,
full.
oh yeah, the drop off. I forgot about the drop
Yeah,
off. This is only my fucking award show, whatever. Um, Biggest drop off, 300 by a mile. Most first place and second place votes, 300 by a mile. Followed by the
mile.
Da Vinci Code and Snakes on a Plane. Nobody talks about snakes on a plane anymore. Nobody
No,
cares.
no. But people do
Uh,
say this is Sparta occasionally. You hear
yeah,
that
that
once in a
was
while.
really big. If it's Tonight We Dine in Hell.
Tonight we died in hell. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah. The Brandy goes to 300. Huge drop off. Huge drop off. We've said enough about 300. All right. This
I
is
think
one of
so.
my more favorite ones. There's going to be better examples of like nominees in the future. So I want to clarify a little bit. The intention here is that it is for live animal performances. But like I'm gonna make a couple exceptions. Like I know that the snakes and Snakes on a Plane were CGI, but do I think that there was like one real snake in that movie that I can have it as like a
Yeah.
representative class? Yes, I do. You know, I will not be giving this to like a Pixar dog. You know, that'll never go to that. It's got to be a real animal. Some okay. So our best animal Brendy nominees are the monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean and the snakes from Snakes on a Plane. I don't know. I don't know if I missed any.
I mean, I'm sure if we looked at the year, we really thought hard about it. There's probably like a dog here or there.
I will
Wait,
say that
you mean
this.
Dupree?
No, you're thinking of Marley and Me.
Not to get Marley and Me. Oh God, that's a horrible film. Let's not talk about that. The monkey. I feel like from Pirates is probably the winner here.
Let's see what the fans said.
The
Oh, the dogs from
snakes.
Child. The dogs. Yeah, I also voted for. Well, spoiler. The wolf from The Prestige. The dogs from Children of Men. I don't
You
know.
mean?
I think those were write-ins.
I think yeah, because was there an
Oh, you know
actual
what?
wolf
You know
scene in
what? On
Prestige?
some of these where I couldn't come up with enough nominees, I went to ChatGPT to fill it out. I've used ChatGPT for this a lot, and it kind of makes me feel stupid. But like on the other hand, you get like raw vote data in a CSV file, and it's like I'm not spending 2 hours doing this.
It's great. Wow. I don't know.
So the
I think
Brendy,
the monkey. I think the monkey.
the monkey's not a bad choice, and the monkey continued to make more movies, but
And he had to
I gave it
act
to
and like be funny and stuff. And it was a
the snakes.
great job.
There's six more Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and there's a monkey, the same monkey allegedly in
Yeah.
all of them. So whatever. You
Definitely
ever
not.
work with monkeys, Z?
Um, no. Surprisingly, no. I've worked with lots of other
Ian was a
animals.
horse wrangler very recently.
I've been a horse wrangler,
That
so I
sounds
know
awful.
it's the
Or just
worst thing.
asking somebody who knows how to deal with horses. What should we do next?
Yeah, I mean, it's very funny when you're the middleman and like you could be working on a job that's like, oh, we have cars that we're moving, and suddenly you're on a job where there's horses, and it's like, cool. So you can you let that horse know to do this? It's like fucking impossible.
No, I can't.
It's impossible. Look, well-trained dogs, fine. Well-trained dogs are great on set. Maybe Barb, I don't know. Great on set.
Barb's pretty bad, actually.
Most other animals, not good. Most other animals are not good. Depending on the dog too. Like the worst animal I ever worked with was a bulldog because he just didn't do anything that he was supposed to do. And that's just apparently just indicative of bulldogs.
Just
And like
love
I've
the
had
idea of you just getting madder and madder at a dog.
look,
This fucking dog.
picture this. I once set up a scene for a show where it's supposed to be a Nazi encampment, like in Oklahoma. So it was me, a brown man, with a bunch of skinhead looking people, you know, dudes who were fake Nazi tattoos, and we had dogs in cages. The dogs are in cages. We had like, a few German shepherds, several pit bulls, a cane corso, like terrifying dogs. All right. And they're in the cages and they're just being adorable. They're just sitting down doing their thing. And then there is an animal wrangler who 30 Rock actually took the character of the animal wrangler and they based it off of her 100% because her name is Bambi. All right. And Bambi's out there. Bambi rolls up in her car with all of her cats, smells like animals. She's literally the Rachel Dratch character, I think it is from 30 Rock. The animals she had that day, she literally just, went like that. And they all just started foaming at the mouth, going at the cages, doing their thing. And she says one word, they all stop. The fucking bulldog, we'd break to set, do this. It doesn't do it. The whole crew is waiting around. We're like, okay. fucking sucks.
It's like this is
Animals.
our day today.
Yeah. Easiest I've ever worked with is tarantula, which is interesting. I
Okay.
know. I'm like, what? Tarantulas, but they're easy to work with. But no
Hey,
monkeys
now
yet.
now I know.
Now you know.
All right, we're into the final five here, the big
Oh shit.
awards. All right, we're only. I'm not redoing the whole Oscar award, just the big five. Maybe see myself talking into like some sort of script-based award. I don't really feel like delineating between adaptations and not adaptations, but maybe I could see a sixth award in here somewhere. But now we start with Best Supporting Actress, and now is also the part where we get to talk about how bad the Oscars blew these.
Hmm.
I don't think that this is the best example of how bad they blew it, but like it's coming. So the winner of the Oscar in 2006 was Jennifer Hudson in Dreamgirls, a movie nobody's talked about since 2007 when this was all over with. Like,
By far the most overrated movie of the year. I mean, by far.
she,
She's
great
great.
singer,
Great
no
singer.
argument with
She
her
creates the role,
performance, no cultural
but
relevance,
no, no.
none.
Not at all.
And the nominees were Adriana Barraza from Babel, another movie with wasn't bad, but like no staying power.
Yeah, yeah. Made by
Uh,
great directors who made a lot of other great movies, but that one's not one that's gonna last, you know.
Kate Blanchett in Notes on a Scandal, that was good. She was good in that. No argument there.
No
Abigail
argument.
Breslin in Little Miss Sunshine, like
No
fine.
argument.
It was fine, yeah. Um, and Rinko Kikuchi from Babel, like who the fuck? What the fuck? I don't know what that is. I remember her, but
Uh,
like
it's just funny. I've actually worked with Wrinkle in real life, and I forgot that she was nominated for Babel.
that's funny.
So that says something. That says something. Oh God. Oh shit.
Uh,
Forgot. Yeah.
the Brendy nominees: Kate Blanchett, Notes on a Scandal; Abigail Breslin, Little Miss Sunshine, Good Good; Julianne Moore in Children of Men was really good in that movie.
Small role, but very good.
Just supporting actress. Maribel Verdú from Pan's Labyrinth. She was like the nanny, who cut the bad guy's lip.
Yeah. Oh
One of
hell
the
yeah.
most cringeworthy like
Oh.
guttings. Yeah. Vera Farmiga from The Departed. Emily Blunt in The Devil Wears Prada. And I have Julianne Moore on here twice. I think she was in another good movie that year that I just doubled up. Um, the
Hmm.
fan vote went to Julianne Moore pretty handily.
Wow.
Pretty handily. Who did you vote for?
Me, I voted for Kate Blanchett because I actually love. Look, the movie itself is good, but she carries the entire movie.
Yeah, it's not
And then,
great. I don't love most narrator based, you know?
yeah. But I think her, and then my second choice wouldn't even be Julianne Moore. It would be Emily Blunt for
Yeah,
sure.
I think well, you'll see who I voted for first, but I think Julianne Moore was second or third. Emily Blunt was
Mhm.
definitely up there for me as well. Vera Farmiga, I think a lot of people could have done that role. Nothing against her, fine actress. I don't
Yeah,
think she
no,
brought
no.
anything like crazy unique. It's kind of like the Anne Hathaway in that Batman movie role is like, did you need her? Could anybody have done this? Like,
Exactly, exactly. Like, yeah, it
um,
launched her career, kind of. It did for Vera, but like
definitely.
everything she's done since then has been like way more art house, way more interesting. She has a fucking band that covers Slipknot, and like I don't know. Anyway,
Did she
but that's
do
Vera.
anything wrong in this movie at all? No.
No,
Delivered the
she was
script
just
great.
she was
If
just
somebody if she was asked to do a Scorsese film, you have to say yes.
yeah. It's not the best. It's a female character in a largely male
Yep.
machismo fucking movie. Let's be honest. So not very well written.
Does
Not a whole
she
lot to work
pass the Bechdel test? Does she have an
with. No,
interaction with a female character in that movie?
no,
Does she
no,
talk to? Yeah, no, she doesn't. Oh well.
no.
The Brandy goes to Maribel Verdú from Pan's
Okay,
Labyrinth.
okay,
Really
okay.
carried the second half of that
Really
movie. I think
stuck with you, huh? Oh, yeah.
stuck with me. Really great stuff. Uh, Definitely brought something different to that role. Can speak Spanish, which that's like the most important part of that role. And you can't speak
Like everybody
Spanish,
else
you're
in the
out.
movie. Yeah.
How many people we ruling out immediately? No,
And we're
it's
talking
just like it
Spain
was
Spanish. We're talking Spain Spanish. We're not talking about Spanish around the world. It's different.
the
Harder.
the royal we or whatever.
The vosotros and all that shit, you know? Yeah.
So Maribel
Mm-mm.
Verdú. And so of my nominees, Kate Blanchett made the final cut. Abigail Breslin made the final cut. The rest of them, I think, just nominating two people from Babel. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's publicist money, though. It
Unnecessary.
is what it is. We're going to keep moving. So the best
Ooh.
supporting actor. I thought I did the winner thing again. I did not. All right. So the best supporting actor in 2006 was Alan Arkin. Whatever, fine. Um, the nominees were Jackie Earl Haley in Little Children, Mani Hansu in Blood Diamond, Eddie Murphy in Dreamgirls, Mark Wahlberg in The Departed. I think the Mark Wahlberg thing was so silly because I think that everybody, I remember that year, everybody was like, it's Alan Arkin all day. Like he was always going to win that award.
Yeah. He crushes that role.
So there were so many people to nominate from The Departed that
Yeah.
I think just like none of you are going to win. We need to nominate him. He hasn't been nominated since Boogie Nights. And honestly, this was his last like real opportunity to get nominated or something. He hasn't done any Oscar bait since. It's all
Yeah.
garbage, you know?
And you know what? That makes me happy. I'm
Who
one of those
was
people who
Jackie Earl Haley in Children of Men?
he's not in children.
Little Children, Little Children. I
Little
said
children.
Children of
Yeah.
Men. Yeah, okay, I remember him, Little Children.
Yeah. I
Another
was
movie
like,
that was fun.
um,
All
yeah,
right, the
Mark Wahlberg.
Brendy. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I
Yeah,
was just
no,
gonna say I just never was a fan ever. Like, yeah, I enjoy his role in this because it's ridiculous, but like, I can never get past his hate crime that he was convicted for.
okay,
And a
fair.
lot of people are like, yeah, that happened like in the 90s when he was a teenager. I don't give a shit. He blinded a man for being Chinese. That's a fact. And
You'll
like, I just
hear no
can't.
argument from me here.
No,
I
exactly. It's
also
like,
think,
and
as
he
far
got,
as The Departed goes, like
he's
Alec
fun.
Baldwin delivered just as many memorable lines in a similar
Yeah.
amount of screen time.
You just get
Uh,
Mark Wahlberg at the
Jack
end doing this thing. And like,
Jack
people love
Nicholson
that.
was Jack Nicholson. He wasn't one of the leads, so he's a supporting actor. Like I don't know why it had to be Mark Wahlberg. He
Yeah,
got
no.
nominated for saying "Where's your mother?" Busy fucking my
Fucking
father
your
or
father.
something. Yeah, whatever.
And then,
So the ones that barely missed the cut for me for supporting were Matt Damon, who I think might just be the lead, but I don't know. Clive Owen for Inside Man specifically just missed. Mark Wahlberg I put on the list, but
he had a
Jude
hell of a
Law,
year.
Jude Law in The Holiday carried that rom com as a supporting actor. You thought he was like this big Lothario. You thought he was like this big ladies' man, and then like, oh shit, he's got three kids. They just want a mommy. And Cameron Diaz was horrific in that movie. Really hard to watch.
That movie's hard to
That
watch.
movie's fine. The movie's fine. I don't need, despite almost nominating Jude Law, I don't need the Cameron Diaz half of that movie at all. It
No.
would have almost been better if it was based on just Jude Law. Um, yeah, because the Jack Black, Kate Winslet side was fine. Stanley
Yeah.
Tucci, Devil Wears Prada, Jumani Hansu for Blood Diamond, Jaden Smith, Justin Long in Idiocracy, just for being the doctor who's like, it says here,
Oh my God.
your
You
shit's
fucked up. You
retarded. You
should tell
fucked
you're
up.
all fucked up.
He's like, yeah.
Talk about movies that have aged well.
Yeah, every
Idiocracy
year it gets a
is
little
more and more
better, right?
horrifying every minute. Every minute. Oh God.
Him as
Yeah.
the doctor in that movie, or what's his name? Terry Crews is the big muscle president.
Macho something Camacho Elizondo
Macho Camacho, I think that might just be
Mountain
it.
Dew something. I don't know.
I had
Not Maisen's name.
Dave Grohl right on the edge of a nominee for The Devil and Tenacious D. Who else can sing those songs? Cut it out.
No. Yeah, no.
The
Steve
finalists
Carell.
were Jack Nicholson, Michael Caine in Children of Men was so good.
It's a pothead
Um,
hippie.
yeah, Mads Mikkelsen in Casino Royale, Alec Baldwin, who I think delivers a lot of the most memorable lines in The Departed, and Mark Wahlberg laundered that credit, but and Philip Seymour Hoffman for Mission Impossible 3. This is a pretty loaded category, and I think that they blew it. I don't have Alan Arkin. I have him tangentially nominated, but like there was better, more meaningful stuff that year. Dreamgirls, who fucking cares? Blood Diamond
Yeah.
is just like, I don't know, it's fine, but
It tries too hard.
right, it's
Yeah.
disappointing.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Jackie Earle Haley, just no staying power on little children, frankly. I think that's the bigger
No,
problem with
that's
it.
a very niche
Uh,
movie.
Jack Nicholson wins Best Supporting Actor fan vote in a walk. like most first place votes, most second place votes by a lot. It's fine, I guess. It's fine to me. I think that's who I had win. Who did you vote for?
You want to know who I voted for?
I think
This
you
is one
voted
of
for
the few
Philip
awards.
Seymour Hoffman, right?
No, this is one of the few awards that I actually thought they got right. Arkin.
Alan Arkin.
I picked
Okay.
Arkin. And I
Yeah.
like
Okay.
I didn't think that, and then I rewatched Little Miss Sunshine like a month ago, and then you sent me this poll, and I was like, oh shit, oh, he was really good in
I'd
that.
seen it not that long ago. He was good, like for sure.
Like
He
him,
was good.
look, I mean, without him and Abigail Breslin, there's no movie. And you forget like the rest of the cast is Tony Collette, Steve Carell, fucking
Yeah.
Paul Dano. Like, but without the two of them, it's not really a
Greg
movie.
Kinnear.
Right? So many people in that fucking movie. It's insane.
Yeah, but without the little girl and without the grandpa, it is a
Be
miss.
nothing. Be nothing. Yeah.
But I gave it to Jack Nicholson. He was the biggest bad in the biggest movie of the year. You know?
Great choice. As always.
Yeah, I had to pick the that one. We got three of these left. We're gonna keep going. The best
Do it.
actress. The actual winner was Helen Mirren in The Queen. Nominees were Penelope Cruz in Voltaire, Judi Dench in Notes on a Scandal, Meryl Streep, Devil Wears Prada, Kate Winslet, Little Children. My fringy misses were Anne Hathaway, Devil Wears Prada. She was
Yeah.
good. It didn't like change the role in any big way, but very good. Toni
Mhm.
Collette, Little Miss Sunshine, Amanda Bynes, and She's the Man, just irreplaceable in that film. Comedy's
Wait,
hard,
did I
and I
say that
think
is?
comedy's hard, and I think I don't actually even like that movie, but like people do, so I put her up there.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think more in my you're gonna see him in these best actor and actress things where like comedians and horror movie people. Uh,
Mhm.
because again, it's hard and they don't recognize that at all.
No, they don't.
What else? Whatever, you can read the rest of them. The finalists were Judi Dench in Notes on the Scandal, whatever, it's fine. Vanessa Hudgens in High School Musical. She sings the whole fucking movie. What do you want from me? I don't like it, but like, deserves who else could do it? Uh,
Oh
the
boy.
little girl from Pan's Labyrinth, Ivana Bencaro. Uh, yeah, very, she was great. And Meryl
Yeah.
Streep, Devil Wears Prada. Who'd you vote for?
I went with Meryl.
Yeah,
It gets
so
better
did
every time I watch. It's
I
like,
think the fan vote is the biggest, the most lopsided one of any of them, and I think this is the year that the Oscars blew it the worst. Like it became her most iconic role by some
yeah.
margin.
I mean, I just don't think they knew what to do with the Devil Wears Prada
I think
because they're
that
like,
also
wait,
the problem.
it was advertised as like a rom com, and that's part of the problem too. Like her relationship is secondary in the movie. Like that's yeah, whatever, but like it's about her career and her
Yeah,
independence and all that. So it's like, not really the right demographic. I think that it suffered from that too.
this was also at a point I think with Meryl Streep where like they were getting tired. I just don't think that they felt like it was like Michael Jordan. Can you keep just giving it to her every year? So there were so many just like makeup calls and stuff
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
this one in particular that they kind of just like overthought themselves because Helen Mirren and the Queen, I'm sure it was fine. I didn't see it.
Oh,
It
she's
wasn't
great.
interesting to
She's
me.
great.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fine, but like it didn't define her career. This did for Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I mean, to think it's something that defined Meryl Streep's career. It defined her to a younger generation of people. You know what I mean? Like people know
Yeah.
Meryl Streep and they think of 70s, even 80s Meryl Streep, which I do. I can't lie. 90s Meryl Streep, like Bridges of Madison County, boring as fuck. She got not, Oscar, her and Clint Eastwood. But I feel like people of our age, most people, it's like Devil Wears Prada, and then everything else
Yep.
is afterwards. So,
Yep.
but hey,
Isn't she Rosemary's Baby?
like the
Or
actual
no,
baby.
what's the one with Dustin Hoffman?
Oh, you're talking about Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what's isn't she in Sophie's Choice?
Yes, she is Sophie. She makes a
Yep.
choice.
And she makes the choice. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Oscars just whiffed on this one. They really
yeah,
overthought it. I don't think
yeah.
my finalists are anything to write home about. Generally speaking, it could go a lot of different ways, but like there's a clear winner this year and they blew it.
They blew it. They fucking blew it.
Best actor. We have the winner for the Oscar winner went to Forrest Whitaker for The Last King of Scotland. The nominees were Leo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond. I don't think they allowed the same actor to get nominated twice, so he probably just had to pick. And he was like, "I
Yeah,
do
I
an
think
accent in this
it's
movie, so it's going this over The Departed." Blood Diamond, Ryan Gosling and Half Nelson, Peter O'Toole in Venus. I didn't see Venus. Will
me
Smith in
either.
The Pursuit of Happiness. The fringe nominees for me were Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Brick, Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. It also could have been nominated for Future Robots. Um, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. Leonardo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond was not nominated for the Brandy in this specific case.
I
I've
agree.
kind
I
of
agree.
considering, right?
Versus Departed, if you're gonna pick a role from him that year, his bad Afrikaans accent or his decent Boston accent. Oh, I remember the Boston one.
Yeah, I'll go Boston as
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
my finalists: Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat,
I like that.
irreplaceable,
I like that. You know
irreplaceable.
what? I'm gonna have to agree with the nomination of Sacha Baron Cohen because I think he got robbed. I think he got
Comedy's
robbed.
hard,
Should have been nominated. Should have been nominated for
especially for
sure.
such like a strange comedy. Like it was like just
Yeah.
so out there. It wasn't like a Will Ferrell like scripted thing.
Yeah. Now, what is your
Um,
opinion on The Last King of Scotland?
yeah, I saw it once in probably like 2007, 2008. He definitely looked like Idi Amin.
He definitely acted like ED. I mean,
Yeah, but I didn't make an impression.
that's fair.
Why do you think he deserved it? He
You
was
know what it
good,
is?
just not
It's
for me. The
hard
movie.
to me. To me,
It's
I think who really got robbed here. I've Owen. I think Children of Men got robbed a lot in general.
Yeah, Children
And
of Men was
it's,
one of the. I think Children of Men was the second best movie that came out that year.
I mean, and like
Or
his acting in that movie is incredible because he goes through so many different things. And you learn about like his past through Julianne Moore and this and that. And like he had a kid, whatever. But he's always just trying to like move. And like the camera's constantly moving too. It's fucking Emmanuel Lubezki doing these one takes. And like there's just so much required of Clive Owen in that movie. And he crushes it. And I feel like, I mean, yeah, Forrest Whitaker, he did good enough to win the Oscar, but I just think in general, Children of Men got robbed a lot, and that's one of those movies you watch now and stands the test of time for sure.
yeah, for me, the clear, clear three best movies that came out that year were The Departed, Children of Men, and Pan's
Pan's
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth,
Yeah,
yeah,
just the
yeah,
clear top three there, like by a
yeah,
mile. After
that's
that, it's
fair.
all just like kind of tiered down. But like, yeah, no, those three. So yeah, because they didn't get any awards for anything,
No,
and
no,
tremendous. It's like so good. Uh, the fan vote went to Leonardo DiCaprio by a mile. I get it, but I don't agree.
I don't agree. That accent, I don't agree.
Because like, I mean, my thing is just like I'm looking for like the baseball stat, like who brought the most wins above replacement to this role? Could somebody else have
Yeah,
done
yeah,
what
yeah.
Leo DiCaprio did? Yeah, probably.
Yes, exactly.
Would it
Did
have
he
been
bring
better?
something
I don't know,
to
but
it?
like,
Like, he didn't bring anything unique to it. It's just him with that accent, and that's it. You know?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure he changed some scenes and did some Leo magics, but
Yeah,
like, yeah, I think somebody else, like, just looking at this list, if Ryan Gosling
yeah.
were cast as Leonardo DiCaprio, it would have been fine. If Denzel Washington were cast as Leo DiCaprio, it would have been fine. You know what I mean? Just in general. I don't know if the ages would have
I don't
matched
think
up correctly, but
Denzel probably wouldn't have worked. But otherwise, yeah, Ryan Gosling for sure.
um, the brandy goes to Borat.
Very
Nobody else could
nice.
do Borat. It was a huge movie at the time. I,
Still is.
you know,
I agree.
I don't feel like I have to defend myself. Just comedy's hard, and he did that. He's the only person who could do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Who did you vote for? Did you say?
I picked what's it called? I picked Forrest Whitaker because I was
Okay.
gonna do Clive. Yeah, Clive Owen makes sense, but I don't think you gave that as an option maybe in the polling.
I thought I
I can't
did. I
remember.
might not.
I
I
can't
might not have.
remember.
I had him as a finalist, so I thought so. But maybe I. It's very possible I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, we're pretty forgiving here at the Brendys. The second to last
Okay.
category. I don't know if I did one of these for Best Picture though. I might have fucked the last one up. Is Best Directing. And Best Directing Oscar nominees. The winner was Martin Scorsese for The Departed. The nominees were Alejandro Gonzalez for Babel, Clint Eastwood, Letters from Iwo Jima, Stephen Frears for The Queen, Paul Greengrass for United 93. This is the worst category of all of them. They fucked it so hard.
Yeah, they did.
They really whiffed.
Jeez.
I don't, besides
I
Martin
mean, 9/11
Scorsese, it's
throw him a
9/11
nominee.
movie,
It's
right?
like, okay.
And Clint Eastwood getting the emeritus every year nominee because he's
Yeah,
Clint Eastwood.
yeah,
They were in love with Babel that year, and
yeah.
they
They
were in
really were
love
in
with
love
the
with Babel.
Queen that year. Um, my close but no cigars were Casino Royale, Blood Diamond, The Hills of Eyes, Ricky Bobby, Little Miss
Hmm.
Sunshine. I put 300 up there, whatever.
It
Brick,
was unique. It's definitely fucking unique. I mean, he changed
Brick.
the genre. You know,
Um,
Brick is an underrated fucking movie.
yeah. Devil Wears Prada. I think for directing, I don't know if the director really added that much to it, but it was a good movie. Definitely didn't blow it. And Borat. And my finalists
Mhm.
were Spike Lee, Inside Man, good movie, well directed, kept it tight. Uh, Guillermo del Toro for Pan's Labyrinth, Chris Nolan for The Prestige, which I didn't love, but it was well done. Uh,
It's one of those movies you watch. It holds up better now, I think. And I
uh,
mean, he's done so many movies it gets overshadowed. So,
yeah, Alfonso Cuarón for Children of Men, and
mhm.
Martin Scorsese for The Departed. I actually don't remember which one I. Oh, yes, I do. Uh, the fan vote went to Martin Scorsese by an inch, but he did
Mhm.
get the most first place votes for sure. Second was Alfonso. Can you say his name for me? How do you say it?
Alfonso Cuarón.
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 Okay.
Yeah. I only know that because
And
I heard somebody say his name out loud. So I was like, oh, that's how you say it. Okay,
thank
cool.
you. And Guillermo del Toro was third. Wasn't entirely close. Did you say who you voted for? I'm sorry.
I voted for Alfonso, but it was to
Okay.
me, it's a very close tie between Alfonso and Guillermo.
Yeah, I went with Guillermo
Yeah,
because
those two are those.
I don't
It's
think
really fucking
anybody else could have delivered a movie of that quality with all that
no,
silly shit in it.
no,
You
no.
know?
But like
Yeah,
make it
I think it
convincing enough.
right. I think in a different in different hands, the fawn stuff and the fairy stuff would have been more cartoonized, a little sillier. So
Yeah, they wouldn't have
scary and
translated.
serious. Yeah, in a way only he could do. I think there's a version of The Departed that exists without Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, I think it's honestly it's just a mediocre movie of his compared to his other like heavy hitting directing ones like Raging Bull. Like you watch that movie and you're like, he had to really think about every fucking little thing in this movie, every
Yeah,
single shot. And it just doesn't feel that way when you watch The Departed. It feels like he
no,
had a
just
big
a
people making a movie,
yep.
which is what happened. So
Yes, I didn't fuck up Best Picture.
eh.
All right. So Best Picture nominees. This is before they expanded to the 10. I
Mhm.
had trouble narrowing down mine to finalists, so I think just everything above the line is a finalist, and everything below the line is gone. You didn't see that.
I
Um,
didn't see that.
the winner was The Departed. Pretty easy. To Sorry, I got distracted by something going on in my house. Yeah, The Departed, chalk. Um, Nominees were Babel, Letters from Iwo Jima, Little Miss Sunshine, and The Queen. Blew it.
They blew it. Letters from Iwo Jima, way too many nominations. The Queen, Best Picture, no,
No,
they blew it.
Little Miss
They blew it by
Sunshine.
not having fucking. I mean, Little Sunshine, I'll even give a pass. They
It's a
didn't fucking
quality
have.
movie, but it's not Best Picture, man.
I mean, they didn't have Pan's Labyrinth, nor Children of Men. And it's like those are the two.
Neither.
Like what?
Yeah, those were two of the three best movies of the year, like for sure.
Yeah, neither one
Uh,
nominated.
so my finalists were obviously The Departed, Pan's Labyrinth, The Prestige, Children of Men, Casino Royale, Mission Impossible 3, Devil Wears Prada, Inside Man, Blood Diamond, Brick, and Borat. I put them all on there. Tons of nominees. Real finalists, though, you can see there.
Mhm.
Children of Men, Casino. It was really the
Yeah.
three, though, that are
To be
actual.
fair, nowadays it's 10 nominees every year. So
Right, right, right. Yeah, I was trying to hold myself to that. So, like, I'm going to try, probably most years, I have no problem getting, I don't think I'll have a
yeah,
problem getting to 10. I was just doing 2010, though. I think I'm going to have trouble getting to like six. Um, oh, I don't have the
yeah.
fan vote in this one. I can bring that up, though. The Brandy goes to The Departed. It was just
You know,
Couldn't
I
ignore
could
it.
have guessed that. Could have guessed
You
that.
went Children of Men. I could have gone Children of Men. It was I was honestly close between all three of those movies. At one point, every single one had it. But
Hmm.
in the end, I just went with the chalk, went with the Scorsese film.
That's fair. It's a comfort movie,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
don't think Pan's Labyrinth held, and it just didn't stay. The staying power wasn't there. So I didn't end up going with Pan's Labyrinth, even though I really like that. Maybe the best of
I
all
think
these.
that probably has something to do with our age at the time too. Like
Yeah,
18 years old watching Pan's Labyrinth versus The Departed as like a boy growing up in America. Like you're gonna be like, well, The Departed, gangs, violence, this and that. You watch
yeah,
Pan's Labyrinth, you're like, all right, subtitles. Okay, what's going on? It's a lot. I feel like more mature people, it like really stuck with them, and people who are older for sure. But our 18-year-old brains was like, fucking Departed, let's go, let's shoot people, it's whatever. It's fucking great.
yep, yeah. And you went Children of Men. I think that is fine. Let's see if I have the. Oh, here we go. Fan vote for Best Picture was Departed by a Mile,
No,
but in the right order. Those
second
three,
though.
I think, probably in the right
Yeah,
order. Those three,
yeah.
those five, I think, honestly, are in the right order.
Yeah, I was gonna say all five. Honestly, I mean, I would switch to Departed, but otherwise, those are the top five.
Right, right.
I think for sure.
Yeah. Good
We're
job,
at the worst
fans.
product. Yeah,
All right. That was it. We've been here for, I believe, over just about an hour and 10 minutes.
yeah, a little over an hour. Not bad.
So we're calling
Talked
it. That
about
was the
stuff.
first annual Brendy Awards. I think in the future. Oh, is there, yeah, anything else? I think we got all your opinions out of the way because there was just one of you. When there's like five or six people, it's gonna be a little tougher in the future.
I mean, it's me. I'm sure I have a million opinions, but I think we covered most of it because this was the awards. I feel like that in retrospect, you and I agree on a lot of things on too,
Right.
because it just stuff stood better with time versus other things, and like rewatchability versus seeing it once. It was good, but never need to see it again. I
Right.
think I had a lot to do with it. Yeah,
Yeah. No, that
but
definitely was
for
okay.
sure.
Well, for all of you who end up seeing this, thank you for joining me. Think in the future I'm going to try and do these either weekly or bi-weekly. It's very much motivation based, and I'm not trying to make money off of this. So as soon as this feels like work, it's probably going to be done. Um,
Just fair.
yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks for
Oh,
having
there it
me.
is. Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for joining the Dismal Tide. Goodbye.